Hi, it's Cindy Morris with the Peoria Public Schools Foundation. Welcome to our live stream show called Buzz Chats, where we connect with people who are connected to the school district in some way. And tonight it's really fun. We typically have one or two people on the show. So tonight we've asked other nonprofit leaders, again, who are tied to our school district, to join the show. We're very honored to have you here tonight. Emily Cahill from the Park District had a last minute cancellation, but she'll be back when we have another panel. So we're going to go right in and start. And the format is we'll ask everyone the same question, and we have some formatted questions, but maybe end with a little bit more personal note. Becky Rossman with the Neighborhood House. Do you want to do your intro of yourself and your organization?
Sure. So I'm the president CEO of Neighborhood House. We are located on the south side of Peoria. Next year, we'll be celebrating our 125th anniversary. And throughout the history, the mission's been about feeding, educating, and empowering individuals. And we still have very diverse programming that helps everyone meet their fullest potential, regardless of what life stage they're in. So we have everything from Meals on Wheels, where we deliver typically to over 1,000 seniors in Peoria and Tazewell County. We feed kids after school, provided tutoring. We help people get jobs and do financial literacy. We also have holiday programs, a food pantry, and adult education and GEDs and literacy as well. So we kind of run the full gamut. Cradle to grave, we even have pets. So we provide pet food through our Critters Meals on Wheels program. And that's because several years ago, we found out our seniors were sharing their meals with their pets and neither were getting enough to eat. So we just find the most relevant needs and we change our programming to make sure that we're meeting those. And you said personal too?
Yes.
I have been in nonprofits for well over 20 years. And the last 12 years, I've been in the CEO role at 2 different organizations. The only time I have not worked in nonprofits was when I was in the Army. So I was actually in the Army Reserves. I was a mechanic, and then I got activated after 9/11. So I spent a year at Fort Bragg, and I was backfilling for the 520 Special Operations. And then on the side, I also do board development and strategic planning for other nonprofits, both locally and regionally in different states.
Well, great. Thank you so much. Marcellus Somerville with the Friendship House.
Hi, Marcellus Somerville, President and CEO of Peoria Friendship House. To be honest, we do a wide range of things as well. Our mission is to do the work of Jesus Christ while also providing hope and respect for those in the community, helping them to a path of prosperity. We do everything from pantry as well. We have a huge pantry that we're actually campaigning at the moment, Stuff a Bus. We also have different programs. We have a STEAMS program, that we are helping young teenagers, young adults, as well as the youth in the community become more proficient in their subjects. We use a software called MobyMax. We also since COVID, we've opened up our facility during the day to help control some of the e-learning for the parents and help provide tutoring as well as mentoring throughout our facility. We do, like Becky said, we do a wide range of things. We try to wrap our arms around the whole family from the young age all the way into adulthood as well, providing numerous amount of things. What was the second question? Personal?
Yes.
Me personally, I was a professional basketball player for over 14 years. I started my own nonprofit 6 years ago, and it was doing very well, where I started I guess you could say a party for kids, back to school bash. I was one of the first who started that, passing out backpacks, cutting hairs, makeup on the kids and all that stuff, and bouncy houses. So gave them a day of complete fun. We even had horses one time at one of them, where we gave them horseback credits, things like that. So that was really cool. And like I said, so I've been in nonprofit for about 6 years. as well as playing professionally. My wife and I started it back then. I've been married 16 years. I have a wife and 4 kids. Family guy. Pretty laid back. That's it.
And Carolina told me you're supposed to mention the mentoring program that she's working with too.
Yeah. We also have PMP as well. My bad. Which is a really nice program. It's new here to Peoria. We started last year. It's where the parents are in the classroom helping the students and allowing the teachers to be able to, be more hands-on with the students that need additional service and additional help. It's a great program, and we're hoping to get it in multiple schools. We have it in 2 now. We have it in Lincoln and Roosevelt at the moment. So like I said, we're pushing to move that into a new direction. Since COVID, we also have started enrichment programs that we have. What was the name of the other one? I'm trying to think. Shoot. It was, dang it. I want to brain freeze. But so we have, literacy. Literacy with money. It's called Money Matters. We started that for the kids and the young teens here. We're doing a wide range of things, honestly, and we're just trying to complete the whole realm of the family, and from the young to the oldest.
Yeah, great. Jamie Truelove with Heart of Illinois Big Brothers Big Sisters. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm Jamie with Big Brothers Big Sisters. We are a nonprofit mentoring organization. We have been in the Peoria area for 40 years. Big Brothers Big Sisters is a nationwide program. So a lot of people are probably familiar with the mentoring model of the one-on-one. So we pair children in our community with a volunteer that is interested in spending time with them, either through our community-based program or our site-based program. So if our community-based, it's getting together with your little brother or your little sister, doing things that you both enjoy doing. Could be going to the park, going to the movies, working on homework together, just kind of joint interests. And then we have our site-based program called our Lunch Buddies, where we are partnered with 19 different schools in our Tri-County region. And we send volunteers in to meet one-on-one with the student there during their lunchtime. So it's an easy commitment for volunteers to get involved and get started with mentoring that way, and really helps the student out in the classroom. And it gives them someone to talk to in the middle of the day, help with homework, just overall support. So Big Brothers Big Sisters is all about defending the potential of the youth in our community. So that's a little bit about what we do in a nutshell. We work really closely with the families, so we kind of refer our families to other nonprofits in the area. We've done with Neighborhood House and other different organizations just to connect them with any other needs that they might have. And me personally, I've been with Big Brothers Big Sisters for 10 and a half years now, which is crazy, but I started there. I actually started at Crittenton after graduating from college and worked in the daycare and got really kind of passionate about the nonprofit world and found Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I've been there since. So that's just a little bit about me. I love being at home with my dogs. So COVID has been friendly for that. When we've been home a lot, I've spent a lot of time with my dogs and just being outside. And
great. And then we have Mary with Junior Achievement.
Hi. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks for having us on tonight. I guess just a little bit about JA of Central Illinois. We inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy. And we have been doing that here in Central Illinois for the last 74 years. But we also are part of a global organization. And we celebrated 100 years last year. We basically work with students, typically in the classroom with an army of volunteers along 3 pathways. And that's financial literacy, work and career readiness, and entrepreneurship. And so our footprint is, we currently operate in 12 counties, but we got our start right here in Peoria. Peoria Public Schools is our largest school district that we serve. We're pretty much in all schools. And I guess for me personally, I am a lifelong resident of Central Illinois. And I've been with JA a little more than 7 years now. And this is the most worthwhile work that I have done in my long career. So it's like the culmination of all the things that I've done before that I get to use in this really mission-driven work to impact young people and help them to be the best they can be.
That's great. So, well, thank you all for kind of that nutshell on your professional and personal life. And then, Mary, since we have you, I'm going to go ahead and have you start off with kind of our formatted questions, which the first one is your organization's pivot since COVID. And we all know that COVID's been a very hard thing in our world for livelihoods, financial reasons, many things. So the nonprofits are, I felt before COVID hit, I talked to my board in March about it was getting harder and harder to fundraise. And then COVID hit. So, the pivot plan is super important because, and Marcellus is the professional basketball player. I mean, the term's used a lot in basketball, but it's pivoting, what we're doing. So, Mary, what is your organization's pivot since COVID?
I like to use the word innovate. Being part of a large organization, we have been the beneficiary of a transformational role, taking our JA programming to a virtual format. So we had already started down this pathway to have virtual volunteers, to have our programming, which is volunteer-led, be available to students and families and meet them where they are. So we launched JA Inspiring Tomorrows, which was a whole multitude of resources for educators, parents, and students that they could use independently. And in addition to that, we have redeveloped all of our K through 12 curriculum to be able to be delivered remotely via a volunteer, either through a recorded session or a synchronous live session, kind of like what we're doing tonight. And we have found great success with that. So I feel like it's, even though it's a horrible thing to have this pandemic, if there's a silver lining, the fact that we're able to meet students where they are, I think is a blessing in disguise, because we know that it's a challenge. And if we can have a volunteer meet children where they are with their teachers, then we're making a difference even through COVID-19.
Super. Jamie, you're up next. What's Heart of Illinois Big Brother, Big Sister, their pivot plan, your plan?
So starting in March, we suspended all in-person contact with our matches. And slowly we've been allowing our community-based matches to see each other as long as it's in a safe, socially distanced manner, encouraging a lot of outside activities. Our site-based program, we have completely switched to a virtual platform, and we actually have an app through our national organization that allows our big and our little to communicate back and forth, and for our case management staff to be able to see the communication that's going on and be able to support the match that way. So everything has been a virtual switch, and hopefully we'll be able to start easing back into the schools and seeing the littles and connecting that way. But for now, it's setting them up on whatever platform is most user-friendly for our families and for our volunteers, and have them connect in that way.
Okay, Marcellus, what is your pivot plan at the Friendship House?
Okay. Well, first is identifying the need, right? And I think that's what we did through our pivot, was identify that the parents in the community, they needed help. The kids needed help. So we focused on three things: health, food distribution, and education. And in doing that, like I said, the health was predicated around the scare of COVID and a lot of people being frightened from it. So we have health checks here weekly to be able to help them with the food distribution. We wanted to offset some of the costs for families. So we provided our pantry 3 times a week instead of 1. We also was able to, like I said before, open our facility to the e-learning side of things for the educational component. Just like I say all the time, just see the critical need and service it. So in doing that, we were able to open up as a resource center to just families in general, and it's helped us look well amongst our peers and be able to for sure service the area in the North Valley.
Great. And Becky, I know you've done, you do so much work, and especially in the 61605 zip code, correct? But what's your pivot plan?
So we actually halted all of our programming if it didn't directly relate to our feeding programs.
Mm-hmm.
So food insecurity attending to 211 is up 60%. So just since March 21st, when sheltering in place went into effect, we've added 583 seniors, which is a 50% increase. Mm. We're also seeing seniors hunger issues in rural areas as much as inner city. So now we're blowing up in Delavan and Washington all the way out to Elmwood. We actually, our food pantry used to be very small, and it was completely run by donations of Midwest Food Bank. It pretty much served 45 people every other week that were elderly or disabled. And then we started raising $40,000 a month because the need was so great. So we had 90 people coming on site, and we were very thankful that Big Brothers and Big Sisters take food pantry boxes to all the kids that we were feeding in the 61605 zip code. Unfortunately, at our last board meeting, we decided to pare it on back to $9,000 just because, as you kind of mentioned, Cindy, you know, we brought in over 400,000, but we're starting to see donor fatigue. You know, this community really steps up, but they're helping us out in a lot of different ways. So our food pantry grew about 850%, and then we actually took the program that was tutoring and feeding kids after school. You know, with sheltering in place, we didn't have them on site, so we started delivering meals to them. We know when school's not in session, kids in our area don't eat. Now the schools have done a good job of setting up all these pop-up locations, but our kids have barriers to transportation. So we started feeding our 60 kids that we had tutored, and that quickly blew up to 235. And we were just asked a couple weeks ago to expand that program into 03 and 04 zip codes because they also have transportation barriers. So we've really kind of just flipped everything that we're doing. On July 1st, we did start back with our adult education programs and helping people find jobs in the community. But we still aren't serving kids on site, but we felt we were meeting a greater need by going to where they are. And then the other thing with Peoria Public Schools Foundation that we do, myself and my staff, a lot of us volunteer for the Horizons Club program, which is one of my favorite ways to interact with the students. And I'm excited to see that's coming up soon too.
Yes. Yes, thank you. I think, I know Mary's talked, I think, for Horizons too. Marcellus and Jamie will have to get you in there too. We're doing it virtually at the moment. How many of you, the four of you, are, do you find yourself, as Becky mentioned, donor fatigue? Are you actively, I hope you are actively out there, because there are like very special COVID grants out there. Are you having successes in the grant writing realm?
We were. You know, some of the criteria has changed, and so unfortunately we don't meet all of the criteria. I mean, I'm seeing some grants come out that are exactly targeting everything we're doing, but we don't meet some of the standards. So
Mary, are you applying for grants too?
We're always applying for grants.
Yeah.
With the nature of JA, I think that, you know, the need for health, safety, food, I think with regards to COVID, I think we're not necessarily the type of organization, and I would probably not think about applying for those grants because I think there's a really huge need in the other areas that the other folks are serving. But what we have found is that we've been holding a lot of partner meetings, and we have found that our partners and the folks that are behind the mission of JA, they are still very committed to making sure that we're able to provide our services, our programming to students. And I think that speaks volumes to, I think you said, that how giving and committed our community members are to nonprofits such as ourselves.
Right. And Marcellus, are you applying for grants? Because you're like Becky, you provide a lot of the basic need support. Are you out there applying for the grants?
Absolutely. Like Mary said, we're applying for everything that we possibly can. Just putting ourselves in position to, be awarded. But we're applying for everything.
Good. Jamie, you're kind of I would say maybe in Mary's category where it's more educational versus the basic need.
Yeah, absolutely. We apply for what we can, but exactly what Mary said, a lot of our supporters and donors that have helped throughout the year, normally are very giving and are really supporting us throughout this year. So I'm very thankful for that.
We're going to, Becky, we'll go back to you with the next question. Ways that your organization helps support families and students in PPS. You talked about it a little bit, but maybe ways that anyone watching or listening, maybe that knows someone that needs help, a Peoria Public Schools family or student, like maybe just a little more in depth there.
So, like I said, we're feeding the kids and we're delivering the meals. But I've talked to a lot of parents to see what their most prevalent needs are. And they said it is both the feeding, but also the education. A lot of them don't have, or very forthcoming with, they don't have the capacity to teach their kids or help tutor them. I mean, I go home and I do an hour and a half of geometry every night with my daughter, but I have the capacity to sit there and watch a video, learn it, and then reteach it, right? Mm-hmm. And it's causing a lot of frustration in the homes for both the kids and the parents. So we're trying to find different ways where we can help with that area. I like what Marcellus is doing, and Jeff Griffin's doing the same, or Jeff Gress is doing the same. So if we can find a way to add that educational component. And then the other thing we're looking at is expanding our internet so it goes half a block around us, because a lot of parents aren't able to access the things that they need. They can't apply for unemployment. They can't apply for jobs because they lack internet access. So even though I know Comcast and there's supposed to be things in place to help kids with the education, most of our families don't have access. So we're trying to figure out how we can eliminate as many barriers as possible to help the entire family.
Would you say there's certain schools in Peoria Public Schools that use the neighborhood house? I mean, I know where you're located. You're located closest to what, Manual High School?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're close to Treewin, Roosevelt, Manual, and Harrison Homes we deliver directly to.
Okay. And that's the majority of the families you serve in PPS? Yeah. Okay. And then Marcellus, how about you? What, maybe just, go into a little more depth about how specifically, and what schools in Peoria Public School, you said you're in Lincoln and Roosevelt, but what schools come to your facility a lot? And
well, we have students from, like I said, Roosevelt, mostly Lincoln. We have Glen Oak, we have Lindbergh, we have Hines.
So it's diverse, yeah.
Yeah, it's very diverse. It's extremely diverse. I think, through our parent mentor program, the parents having the ability to assist the teacher in school. And we also, to be able to do that, that's powerful for a kid to be able to say, hey, my parent is helping me at school. And so that's changed a little bit, being virtual. So being able to provide, and then like Becky said, we've opened up our facility. We did upgrade our Wi-Fi. So we are able to have quite a few devices, different IP addresses on our server and things like that. We also have around 20 students a day here using those resources. So I think it was pivotal to be able to do that for the community, because we've heard stories, and I say it all the time, we've heard stories, like Becky said, of kids having to use Panera or McDonald's, and it doesn't suffice for the classroom and teachers.
Yeah. You do. Now you have done a little bit. I've seen you have a nice basketball facility or gym, and I know my nephew, I've been there a few times in the last few months. How are you? I mean, it seems very safe, and you know the parents are social distancing, but you're still doing basketball programming, right?
Yeah, the way in which we can do it is because it's like inter squad scrimmages. We do all the checks every day, temperatures, of course, sanitize as much as we can throughout the day, and while the athletes are here. We've yet to have a case, right? Thank God.
I know, that's great.
And hopefully it stays that way. And, you know, we're going to continue to allow the kids to have a place to exert some of the, you know, built up anxiety through this whole process of dealing with COVID.
Right. I did have a parent that just commented, and I'm sure you guys have all heard this, and I have heard it around town too. This parent says, my son is failing algebra because I don't know how to do that kind of math.
We've heard those stories, yeah. So we have like I said, we have tutors here. And we have a STEAMS Academy that focuses on the mathematics of science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And so they have the ability to be a part of that if she wants.
Okay, so Marcellus, you have a way that this parent could get help with their son with algebra.
Yes.
Okay, great. Jamie, you're starting to roll out? Is it with what grades is your programming for the mentoring?
Yeah, so we serve children, we match children between the ages of 5 and 14 in our program, and they stay in our program until they turn 18. So it's definitely been a bigger shift this year, but what our staff has been really great about is working with the families to identify what other needs are there, and then educating our volunteers on how they can best support the children that are in our program. Some of them are definitely some of the most isolated that, you know, during COVID, they were at home and not able to get out and do much of anything. So having that outside connection and someone that's just there to check in and see how they're doing and check in on their mental well-being and just play games over the phone or on Zoom or do something just to take their mind off of how things kind of are in the world right now. And so that's our biggest focus is just to support the students any way that we can and make sure that our volunteers in our program are properly trained to be able to handle any situation that might come up, or that they can communicate with us and we can connect them to another organization that can really help out too.
And which schools are you going to be in this year? Are you starting it when like in Peoria Public Schools we're kind of starting you know, the kindergarten first, and then second, third, and fourth will be October 26th, and then now they've just announced that the middle schools will all be back starting in November. Will you still do virtual at that point, or will you try to do some in-person mentoring?
We will definitely try to do some in-person mentoring. We've had other schools outside of Peoria Public School District that are in person and have allowed us to go in, which has been really great. Of course, with safety precautions, but we hope that we'll be able to go into the schools and our volunteers can go in. It's definitely the most effective way compared to doing the virtual. But if they can't, or if the volunteers are uncomfortable, then we are still encouraging them to connect weekly on a virtual platform.
That's great. And then, Mary, I already asked you that question. You were the first, right?
Well, I would just say that the way that we are supporting both the students and families in Peoria Public Schools, I mentioned earlier about their online resources, the Inspiring Tomorrows website that's targeted to parents and students for self-directed information. But there, to your point about the parent, there's a lot of math-related activities and things out there and links to lots of different resources. So our challenge has been just getting the word out that those resources are available for anyone who has access to the internet. I I feel like early on in this, I'm pretty excited that WTVP got on board with their student programming, and we were hoping to maybe be a part of that. But that has worked in other communities to use public television as an avenue to bring educational programming to families that maybe don't have access to the internet for whatever reason. And I think just using that as a resource for students is just another avenue that parents can tap into.
Yeah. This wasn't on the list. I just thought of this though, and Carolina just mentioned it. If you guys could go around and talk about if you have any upcoming events, because we all know that, I mean, it's, the fundraising is how we do what we do, and it's ever more important now. The grants and asking people directly for money, but our events too. So does anyone have an event coming up still in 2020? If you do,
next Thursday.
Okay, so tell what it is, and I don't know if you're still taking tickets, but each of you go around, and if you have any events coming up, let us know here.
Yeah, typically in the fall we have a bowl-a-thon, but obviously we're not bowling this year, so we converted over to a trivia bowl, and so it's been pretty fun. It's going to be virtual, and so far we have 30 teams signed up for that, and we have a raffle ticket sales with that as well. So anyone can still join if someone likes trivia, and it'll be a fun night.
So do you want to give your website address? Is that how you can get information how to sign up?
Folks can just go to centralillinois.ja.org, and the information is out there.
Now, Marcellus, you said that you have your Stuff-A-Bus. Is that your it's an event? That's a big thing right now?
Yeah, it's going virtual, like most everything. Typically, we would fill a city bus, 10 pounds. I think the most they had was 11 tons of food. So we've gone virtual. That's going to launch October 23rd. We're looking to raise around 10 grand. So in ways they can is by going to Kroger's in Peoria, East Peoria, and just round up, as well as any monetary donation that they feel feasible to donate.
And what's your website address? Or ways to give? The
ways to give is friendship.house. Pretty simple website. Okay. As well as we just finished up Maka Maka. Which also was virtual, but it was very successful.
Great.
And thanks to all our donors as well.
Oh, great. Becky, what do you have coming up?
We actually canceled our 2 fundraisers, so we're looking at a loss of about $150,000. So we're trying to do a peer-to-peer fundraiser on Facebook. But we're doing a couple of things coming up for the clients. So we actually have a coat drive, and we're accepting new or gently used coats for infants to size 4X until October 20th. And then October 23rd, we actually have our coat drive. And for the last few years, people line up around the building at 3:30 a.m. like it's Black Friday. But I think we open up at 6 or 6:30, and last year we gave out over 800 coats, and we expect the need to be far greater this year because just what we're seeing with all of our other programs. And then we are having, we're kind of pivoting our Santa for Seniors program, but we will need volunteers to deliver gifts to 1,500 isolated seniors across a few counties. And that's going to be the first Sunday in December.
Great. Jamie, what do you have?
Yeah, so we had to cancel 3 of our 4 fundraisers. So switching the focus to doing a online silent auction. We're selling some apparel that we generally give out at our March fundraiser that we had to cancel. So it'll be November 9th, that whole week, and we're partnering with different local restaurants to have a give back night each one of those nights. So we'll have different information about that on our Facebook page, Heart of Illinois Big Brothers Big Sisters, or on our website, hoibbs.org.
And Becky, what's your website address?
napeoria.org.
Okay, great. Well, and I encourage make sure you put out your Giving Tuesday information. I mean, I feel like we always do, and you never know who will give. And I think Facebook matches on that, especially the first amount.
I didn't know about that.
The next question, we'll go to Mary. We talked a little bit before we got live about how 2020 is going down. Whew. But what is your outlook for 2021, Mary?
Well, based on feedback we're getting now from schools and educators, we think spring 2021 is going to be pretty busy. We typically this time of year have we partner with the EDC to do Career Spark, where we have around 4,600 eighth graders come through the Civic Center over the course of a couple of days. So we're taking that to a virtual platform, and we'll be doing that at the end of January. And so that'll be a big portion of our JA program delivery. And we're really excited about it. We think it's going to be even better than the in-person experience, because we'll be able to have even more videos and experiences for them to have. It'll be live for one day and then be recorded for 3 months. So parents and students can go back and revisit the site, explore more careers and more opportunities. So that's going to be kind of a big deal. We also are launching 2 capstone programs that are both virtual, that are very in-depth. And we've had a great deal of interest in both of those already. So we'll be kicking those off. So we set a goal of 18,000 students overall for this calendar, or actually school year. And we feel like we're probably going to hit that number. And that'll include, obviously, Peoria Public Schools, which we're in every school. So it's looking good.
Great. Becky, what's your outlook for 2021?
Well, we're just kind of waiting to see. We're going to maintain all of our programming, and then we're hoping to have our second largest fundraiser, Food Fight, in February. And we did have a gala planned for 125th anniversary, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, Marcellus?
We are also going to try to maintain all programming. We're going to try to add 2 enrichment programs. We have Over the Edge, which was postponed. It's where you propel down the side of the pier. We're going to have that, as well as that's it. I think, yeah, that's it. And just in terms of 2021, we're just gonna take it day by day, honestly, month by month. And hopefully things get better.
Yep, we definitely want better. And Jamie, your outlook for 2021?
Yeah, similar to what everyone has already said, but we have quite a wait list for the youth in our program. We have a wait list of 90 kids. So our focus right now, we just finished a campaign for recruiting more volunteers, that is to continue to recruit more volunteers, as we've definitely seen a spike in youth inquiries over the past several months. So we're hoping that 2021 leads to some growth for our agency, just because people maybe start feeling a bit more comfortable getting out there and volunteering, and hopefully we'll be able to have our typical events and to be able to support the program. But just, hopefully 2021 is a little bit more positive.
I didn't say, I know Becky and I think Mary's been to it. Our next big event would be our breakfast. We do a 365 breakfast in January. We're actually going to do it. We're going to do it totally different, but we're doing a curbside drive-through on January 7th at the Hy-Vee on Sheridan at their modular pickup. So, it'll be a drive-through format, and then a very short virtual event. So that's on January 7th. You're invited, everyone, for that. Of course, the Woodruff culinary students don't get to make the food, but we're hoping that'll be back for the next year. So, but we're hopeful. My new saying is I like one-liners and sayings, but my latest this week's saying is you have to keep on keeping on. So we just have to work hard, and I admire all of you for your work, and this nonprofit work is definitely falls to super important work in our community. So thank you so much. We'll end kind of on a personal note. Let's start with Marcellus. Since COVID, since March, would you say there's movies you're into, television show, do you read books? What's your thing?
I would say I like to read books. I read a few since. Movies, I watch most Disney movies with the kids. That's about it. We played a lot of board games actually on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah, you got 4 kids. Are they all at home?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm still kind of young.
You're a baby. Yeah. So, Jamie?
Yeah, it's been a little bit of everything. I've got into puzzles for a while, reading a lot of books, binge watching Food Network and whatever else, trying to bake some new things. But yeah, it's just been a lot of different fun new stuff.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. That was strange. Okay, so Mary, what about your?
So during COVID-19, it's given me an opportunity to work on my side gig, which is photography.
Oh.
And so instead of going places to take photos, I've had an opportunity to go back through the vast library of photos that I already have and put them on my Etsy site, which, I guess people have been doing a lot more decorating and shopping since they've been at home because that business has really taken off. So that's been kind of fun. And then, just doing outdoor things, hiking. I will say though that we've finished watching every season of Schitt's Creek, and that I've really enjoyed that.
That is so funny. I love Eugene Levy. He is so funny. If you guys haven't seen Best in Show, that's one of the funniest shows ever. Have any of you seen Best in Show?
Yeah.
It's a mockumentary about the what's the famous dog show. You have to watch it. But Eugene Levy stars in that. But Schitt's Creek is very funny.
We can all use a laugh, right?
That's right. That's right. How about you, Becky?
Well, if you're a friend on Facebook, you know that we've been doing a lot of TikToks here.
Yeah.
Trying to have fun at work. And then I'm doing a lot of reading, which I usually do anyway, and running to relieve stress. And probably my newest binge watch is Cobra Kai. So I kind of grew up watching The Karate Kid, and so I'm really excited to see it back.
I hear really good things about it, and I'm thinking about maybe this weekend starting that. I heard it's really, really good. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, we're just under time. I don't know if anyone wants to end just with a silver lining story or just a final bye, but Marcellus, you want to start?
Sure. I mean, I don't have a silver lining story, but I wanted to offer to Jamie. I have an old Bradley Memorial, was it Fieldhouse bench that you could probably use for your auction.
Oh,
wow.
Oh,
Wow, thank you. That would be amazing.
that is great.
And maybe I could get the players to sign it. And
Ooh.
maybe it
That
can,
was awesome.
it can
Thank
help
you.
you out.
Pretty cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
That's all I got.
Marcellus, what year did you graduate from Bradley?
2006. The year we went to
okay.
the Sweet 16,
Yeah.
right? So it was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we can coordinate so I can get you that.
Yeah, thank you.
No,
That's
thank
awesome.
you.
Jamie, do you have any silver lining story or just a goodbye?
Yeah, just kind of the silver lining of this year is just seeing, I don't know, everyone has been going through kind of a tough time, but especially in nonprofit world, I feel like we're just all working really well together, and it's been a lot of good collaborations and just support of each other. So I think that's kind of my silver lining. I think that collaboration's always been there, but it's really come through this year to support our community.
Yep. Becky?
Yeah, to kind of piggyback on what Jamie said, we wouldn't have been able to half the things that we have done without our collaborations with nonprofits, and we have a whole new crop of volunteers that have come from COVID. So definitely a silver lining.
Yeah. Mary?
I hate to sound like a broken record, but I'm going to say just the collaboration. I feel like everyone is kind of drawn together to make the best out of this situation. I know Jamie and I are meeting on seeing how we can partner, and I would love to reach out to everyone to see, is there a way we can work together to make a difference? Because one of my favorite things is that it takes many hands make light work, and none of us is as smart as all of us. So if we can put our heads together, we can get through this together. I know that's said a lot, but
yeah. Well, yeah. And you know what? I thought about this after, and we'll do some more shows with, other nonprofit leaders, but I thought it would be maybe good, even in the spring when things are better, even physically getting leaders like us, that really are impacting the community together in person, and just updating on what we're doing. And, a lot of us have the same, same donors, same friends, so it's so good to just collaborate and work together. And if I can ever be of help in the school district, you let me know. I can't believe I've been in the school district for 11 years now. But thank you all so much for joining tonight. You are appreciated in this community. And please share this video when we get out, please share, and we'll have to do it again, maybe before the end of the school year, before summer hits. So I wish you all well, and thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.